Go ahead and get started on our weekly view today. We're going to take a look at what went on in the market last week. You see we had this really high close last Friday, and as I was looking at this and looking at these moving averages, I really felt that the market would at the very least consolidate, if not make a move down. And you can see on Monday and Tuesday, I did a pretty good job. I was right. We did get some consolidation, had a little bit of a weakness candle right here. Even this candle, I would say, was a sign of a little bit of weakness. And then on Thursday, we had a pretty substantial move up to new highs. This candle did surprise me. Now I say that, even though this market has surprised me numerous times this year, and I have freely admitted I've struggled quite a bit predicting it this year because there seems to be so much of a willingness for investors to keep buying stocks, even though even technically and fundamentally, there just aren't signals there that tell you should be continuing to go long and long and long. But that's what we've seen a couple of times this year. Right here, this is Friday's candle, went to a new high, and then it sold off pretty drastically from there. We're down to almost the open on Monday, or I'm sorry, the high on Monday. This candle would seem to me to indicate more weakness, and going into the end of the year, I would not be surprised to see more weakness as we go through next week, at least till Thursday or Friday of next week. I would not be shocked to see some more weakness. Take a look at another one of the charts. This is our wave chart, and just look at how steep this wave is. This is probably the steepest we have seen this wave. It's even steeper than it was right through here. As you see, you've got a pretty dramatic turn up right here at the end. We're well over this second Keltner channel here. All of this says that we should get consolidation or pull back and not keep pushing higher. And then you look at your RSI, which is peaked at really an all-time high for this chart. This is it was almost the highest I've ever seen RSI right here. It's just there was just so much of a move up that I just do not believe can be sustained, at least not at this steep of a level. I am building. Well, actually, let me show you the last chart before I tell you what my plan is. This is your Bollinger Band chart. We did come below the 2 ATR band here, the Bollinger Band, the 2 deviation band, which is a signal that we are getting a little bit of relief in this move up. It wasn't as steep as it was here. Here we had a 3 ATR band, a 3 deviation band. As far as what I'm looking at, I'm certainly not going to go long here. It's too high, it's too extended. Everything in the way that I trade tells me I can't, go take a long here. I am in the process of building a short position in the IYT, and I will show you that in just a second. But what I would do is I would probably wait for the ES to come back into some sort of consolidation range, and then I might be willing to take another long, even though most everything is telling me that we are overbought still. I can't do it here, and it's something I would have to look at on a candle by candle basis, so I can't really tell you the range yet. But I do think that if we were to come back into this range right here next week, that you could start watching candles and start watching some price levels, like another break above this price level right here is a potential long if you were trading ES, especially if you're day trading the ES. Monday and Tuesday, I do expect either a move down or a more probable move down, but at very least a consolidation period. It's just too high, it's too overbought right now. Now, I told you I would show you kind of what I was looking at as I build my short. Hold on. This is the transportation index, and this is where I've started building my short in. I've told you in the previous week's review some of the things going on in the transportation industry, and also transportation is a leading economic indicator. But there was a couple of other things that came out again this week where the FMCSA, which is the governmental body that manages transportation industry, and more specifically trucking industry, has come up and doubled the number of random drug screens needing in the industry from 25% to 50%. Now, what that does is it increases the overall expense in the industry from about between 50 to 80 million, depending on which numbers you're looking at. And that's on top of rising insurance. That's on top of of industrial capacity being reduced, and by capacity I mean production, not capacity. Industrial production being reduced, and there's less freight out there, so they're having trouble. The trucking companies are having trouble staying busy, which again is a sign of an economic turndown, or at least some sort of pullback. I'm not talking about the Great Depression or even a Great Recession, but just a pullback. Just letting off a little bit of steam in the economy. I actually started building this position, I believe, right on these two candles here. I almost got stopped out of the position right here. My stop is right in this area. So, I've got a little bit further to go, about 2 points before it hits my stop. But I was paying close attention Friday as it hit these highs here, and because they're starting to get into an area where I would have to close that position and admit that I was wrong. But I don't believe I'm wrong. I truly believe I'm right. I still like this trend line here. The question is, have I gotten in too early? Because we do have some momentum building to the upside right through here. I think overall I'm right as far as the economy pulling back. I think fundamentally, although I'm not actually a fundamental trader, I think fundamentally there's a lot of weakness out there. I think you're going to see it right in this EFT first, or one of the first ones. Like this was a tremendous candle to get in on. This was a pretty good candle to get on. This one was not terrible. It was a big wick there, so if you could got in up here, that would have been great. But I just do think that there's still going to be a move down here. This trend line could hold. This is a much older trend line that comes into play as I extend my trend lines to infinity. So it may or may not hold. It could, but I do have I'm pretty confident on this trend line. And as we get into this area, it's not going to matter because it crosses above it anyway. I don't think at this point that I see a complete collapse, but I do acknowledge that there are a lot of warning signals out there in the transportation industry that would make you have to ask, what's next. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you have things you'd like me to look at, please let me know. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you next time.